In a world filled with endless noise, where everyone is desperate to be heard, there was one woman who chose to listen, and in doing so, she changed everything. Evelyn Rosewood was not like the others. In boardrooms where voices clashed like swords, she remained silent. While others rushed to make their opinions known, she simply observed. And because she listened, she saw what others missed. She understood a simple truth. People reveal their weaknesses when they talk too much. Her success didn't come from being the loudest in a room. It came from knowing when to listen, analyze, and strike at the right moment. The conference room was alive with voices, each executive trying to dominate the conversation. The deal at stake was worth millions, and everyone wanted control. Lucian Vale, a seasoned businessman with a reputation for his aggressive tactics, leaned forward. His voice boomed through the room. "Confidence wins negotiations," he declared. "If you don't speak up, no one will take you seriously." Evelyn, seated across from him, did not flinch. She wasn't here to prove herself with words. She was here to win with silence. She let Lucian talk and talk. What he didn't realize was that his own voice was his biggest weakness. They argued. They fought for dominance. But Evelyn, she was the only one truly listening. Every word spoken, every hesitation, she noticed it all. Because people will always reveal their weaknesses if you let them talk long enough. That evening, Evelyn sat alone in her office, flipping through her notes. Lucian's voice echoed in her mind. "We've projected unprecedented growth. We are the strongest option in the market." But his confidence hid an inconsistency. His numbers didn't add up. The way he spoke, too forceful, too eager, told her everything she needed to know. Her mentor, Grand Sage Elias, had once told her, "Silence is not passivity. It is strategy." And now it was time to use it. The final negotiation was set in the tallest skyscraper in the city. The boardroom was lined with glass walls, the city skyline stretching far into the horizon. Investors sat in their seats, watching carefully as Lucian stood confidently at the front, presenting his case. "We have the strongest numbers on the market," he declared. "We will bring you the highest returns guaranteed." Evelyn, seated with her hands folded, let him talk. She watched how he gestured too much, how he avoided specifics, how he spoke as if he had already won. And then she saw it, the moment where his words became his downfall. "Our projections show continuous 30% growth over the next 5 years. A pause. The investors shifted in their seats. Doubt. Because Evelyn had already done the research. And that number? It wasn't just exaggerated. It was impossible. With measured confidence, Evelyn spoke for the first time. "Lucian, you claim 30% growth, but your actual numbers tell a different story." The room went silent. Lucian blinked. His confidence wavered. One of the investors turned to him. "Is this true?" Lucian tried to recover, but it was too late. His overconfidence had blinded him. He had underestimated the power of patience, observation, and silence. Across the table, Evelyn reached for the contract. The investors had already made their decision. She had won, not by arguing, not by overpowering, but by listening. Later that evening, Evelyn stood on the rooftop of her office building, looking over the city. The sunset painted the sky in warm hues of orange and gold. She held her closed notebook in her hands, the same one that had carried all her observations, all her strategies. The world below was still filled with noise. People shouting to be heard, fighting to prove their worth. But she had learned the truth. In a world consumed by noise, those who listen hold the real power. She smiled, because success wasn't about speaking the loudest, it was about knowing when to stay silent. And that made all the difference.